short-lived Debbie.
But yeah, Slacks wants to save Debbie. So we are seeing right now that our challenger went with the Payday deck, the green-black Econ ramp. Always a solid choice, right? And Slacks got, I think, his least favorite deck.
Yes.
Which is the blue-black aggro.
You know, it might be better for him, though, because this is the deck that you kind of want to go all in on one lane. Like, typically speaking, in a normal artifact game, you want to get 2 towers. That's the easiest way to win.
Yep.
But this deck, I think, you just put all your eggs in one basket, hope the opponent doesn't know what you're doing, and just take the Ancient out as well.
Yeah, but there's something about me that believes that, like, Ash from Pallet Town knows what he's doing.
Yes, something tells me the same thing. Yeah. You see a battlefield control being used there. That is the card that comes with, I think out of all the creep heroes, that is by far the best card. A 1-mana redirect combat attack.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not only yours, but also the enemies, right? So that's what makes it super valuable. Mist of Avernus, coming here, turn 1. That's a fantastic card. Like, whenever I see a Mist of Avernus turn 1, I'm like, oh man, I got this lane. And when I see Mist of Avernus turn 1 played against me, I'm like, I don't know how to win that lane anymore.
Especially when there's a Rix.
Yes.
Because Rix's biggest problem is his stat line. He comes back, he dies a lot. That seems to be kind of a common trend. But if you get his damage on him early, it's not too bad.
Right, and you can put him back into that lane every single time.
Go die to Sorlakan again. Why
not?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He's going to be a 4-7 and a 5-7.
It actually is the right move here because his deck is going to create more gold anyway. So giving up gold to the enemy isn't really that big of a deal.
Look at Debbie sporting this like guitar hammer.
I never even.
He's like holding it like a guitar, but it's actually a hammer. It's a guitar.
That really looks like a guitar.
Guitammer.
Guitammer.
Hamar.
Is that going to be a cosmetic we're going to be seeing soon?
Who knows? So yeah, as we see, we get Riley in the first lane. That's going to be challenging that Zeus, killing it and trading actually positively because he won't be dying. And then Necrophos gets the arrow to put some pressure on that Lycan. Also, unfortunately for our challenger, but he does get the pickoff and gets that clean. I was going to say, unfortunately, the Lycan was not next to the Riley, but by killing that, now they're next to each other. And Riley gets the bonus to the +2 damage that Lycan will give you.
She loves that. She loves hitting towers a little bit more, but she'll take it any day of the week. Only 2 HP left, because that's one of her weaker things about her, obviously, is the 5 health to start with.
Yep.
You gotta work around that for sure.
There's always some trade-offs. And here, again, like, without doing much of anything, our challenger is going to double his gold and go to 24.
I think that's my favorite card in the game, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed me playing in the background, but I always play a black deck of some kind. It's always gold related. It's real nice. It feels
Do you like the Gondor signature that one?
I love it. Like, for people that don't know, back a couple months ago, they didn't have animations for a lot of these things.
Right.
It still felt really good to play.
Yes.
But now it's like even better. Beautiful. So here we're seeing Heartstopper Aura being placed on Sorlakan. She's going to die. That's a card that comes with Necrophos. Essentially at the beginning of every action phase, so the next time she spawns, she'll deal 2 piercing damage to her enemy neighbors, which are the 3 units ahead of her. So for somebody that wants to hit a tower, it's really, really effective, especially if you can stack it 2
You get 2 Heartstopper Auras. That means that you will eat any creep that comes in front of you before they even get to do anything. So and for a deck that doesn't have many creeps to play, that's going to be fantastic. Now, our challenger spent his gold and bought a Thorn of the Alpha, a Poaching Knife, and a Town Portal Scroll. That means that his Reptile Convoy, after the next turn starts, it won't be an 18-20, it's actually going to be a 0-20. But that's okay, because who cares about a Reptile Convoy when you have a Horn of the Alpha?
Exactly. Plus, you're probably going to get gold at some point this game anyway, so placing it down is not too big of a deal. Now, this is a questionable choice by our champion, SirActionSlacks, putting Crystal Maiden in the first lane. She doesn't die right away, at least not yet, but there is a way to do that.
Yep.
If our there we go, our challenger puts a Poaching Knife, then a counter Traveler's Cloak. So Poaching Knife gives a little bit of extra damage, but also if you get any kills in the lane, whether it's a creep or a hero, essentially double your gold.
Yep.
So creeps are worth 2, heroes are worth 10. Very powerful.
Yep. Fun story, it used to double your gold, but if you had 2 Poaching Knives, it became pretty crazy in the same lane. So that was one of the cards that was nerfed a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have loved to play that. Goodness. So some choices here for our friend what was his name again?
Ash from Pallet.
Ash? I'm not going to remember that.
You never played Pokemon?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm one of the few people in the world that has never played any Pokemon variation.
Yep. And yeah, with only the Crystal Maiden, I think he wanted that in the first lane because he was like, I need to play these conflagrations. The sooner I play them, the better. And I want to play them on the next lane so that actually they do something. And the conflagration here will kill that that Phantom Assassin. And this beginning of spellcasting kills are particularly powerful because A, you stop the hero, or sorry, you stop the player from being able to cast the spells of that color straight away. But not only that, you also make sure that essentially they're dead for 2 turns instead of 1.
Right.
If you die on combat, you already casted all your spells, you use that hero for whatever, and then they're out the next turn and then they come back. But if you kill them at the beginning of spellcasting, they're out for this turn and the next one.
Feels real bad
Yes.
dying before the action phase because it feels like you're out forever. But we're going to see the Thunder, or the Horn of the Alpha placed onto our friend Rix, which is a great choice because he will respawn immediately anytime he dies. And this tower is, you can just abandon now.
Not only
No
is
point.
it down, I want to say that it's intimidating enough that he might actually take the tower and the Ancient.
It's possible. He's out aggroing the aggro deck. My
Yes.
goodness.
That's the power of gold for him.
It's almost as if he's played this game before.
I don't
Who
know
would've
what you're
thought?
talking about. Shenanigans, I say.
Sor Lacan being placed. Remember, she has the Heartstopper aura, so if she gets placed anywhere near that untested grunt, it will actually just die. But with Slacks' luck, oh,
There
he
we go.
actually
No, he got it.
All right.
Yeah, here
Good.
comes that free kill. And not only that, the Necrophos will get his
Yep.
health buffed because of that, because that Heartstopper aura makes him grow his health. Whenever it's
Necrophos is a very underappreciated hero, I feel like. He has a lot of potential because his stat line's not great. It's a 5/6, but in the mid to late game, he gets really powerful. And there we're going to see the second Heartstopper aura on Sor Lacan. No better
that's
hero.
Just beautiful.
That is sickening. I
And
love
also
it.
puts him in a really awkward position right now where, like, if our challenger doesn't do anything, next turn, both the Lycan and the Crypt, and potentially whatever falls in front of Solacan, will die. So,
But one other issue is Slacks has to go all in now on this lane. He's 4 heroes here,
Yep.
one of which is dying, of course. And there's not much mobility in this specific deck.
yeah. And the Grazing Shot, tickling the Chen.
Did
Not
you ever
really gonna-
consider calling it tickling shot? By
It's a
any chance?
tickling shot.
That would be great.
And yeah, understanding like, okay, you want to take this lane? I'm going to let you take this lane. And here comes the Disciple of Nevermore for extra
Alright.
buff. It's still not enough to do 40 damage to the tower. Blink Dagger is, Blink Dagger and Heartstopper Aura, such a sexy combo. And now going there, look at that, that combination plus the Conflagration will be able to destroy that Chen. And not only doing a lot of damage, our champion actually showing his true colors and his true surprise. And this plus the Conflagration
my
will clear the
lord.
Chen. I'm sure the Ash from Pallet Town was not expecting that, and now there's a lot of pressure not only in that first tower, but also that second tower. There's no heroes in the first or second tower for a challenger. He has 3 coming back next turn, but now the decision of abandoning that third lane and putting pressure in the first 2 seems fantastic.
man.
And now another 8 damage, 4 from the
Beautiful.
play effect from playing Oglodi Vandal, and 4 more from the unblock damage. That there's nothing that can be done because there's no heroes in that lane.
I'm pretty sure that was the best move Slacks has ever made, and I've played hundreds of games of Artifact against him.
I know, right?
I've never seen, maybe he's just holding back on us, you know? He's playing the shark rule or something.
He heard he was going to interview Richard Garfield. He wants to, like,
okay.
you know.
So something to
Making
take
a
note of course, there's only 4 health left on that tower. It doesn't go over, so once you kill the tower, it's invulnerable for that round, and then the next round you can start dealing damage to the Ancient.
Yep, and not only that, but also the fact is that once you destroy a tower, it is invulnerable for the rest of that turn. So there's some cards that do damage to the tower, so you can destroy a tower before the combat phase. If you do that and then you go to combat, then the tower does not take any damage.
Right. I've come across that a time or two thinking I was being really cheeky, but in the end, I just didn't understand.
Right.
So the real question here for Ash from
Pallet Town.
Pallet Town.
Like pallets, you know? Like
Pallets, yeah. Where to go? It looks like he might be going to this first lane, which pretty good choice. Obviously, a lot of damage being done by Slacks, but you have to remember there's a Disciple of Nevermore, so everything is pretty damn weak. 1 damage to Crystal Maiden will kill her, as an example.
right now, yeah. And bonus buff at the same time. It's a double-edged sword, right? Like you get these weak things, but also they really, really hurt you. That Devi doesn't stand a chance with that 9 damage being taken to her. The Crystal Maiden decided to attack that. Probably Slacks would have wanted that Crystal Maiden to attack straight because the 5 damage from the Zeus is enough to kill that, but he'll have to work with that. And with a pick-off and a coup de grace in our challenger's hand, there's a lot of choices for him to start making some way and putting some pressure into this tower.
Yeah. Interesting to see what choice he will go with. Ash from Pallet Town.
He can also go for the Hand of God.
He could make himself invulnerable. heal all his units, although they're already at full HP. He'll
There
do
you
just
go,
that.
yeah.
So the question is, does Slacks have any counterplay?
There's not much here. He can play a second conflagration in the other lane to start
Steam
putting
Cannon
pressure.
might be a good choice at this
Steam
time.
Cannon is pretty good. Of course, not to hit anything on this lane because
Right.
they're right now invulnerable, but that could help him get rid of some of the pressure in this third lane. Conflagration in this lane, interesting choice. Everyone is full health right now, but it might help him in the future if he gets to survive a couple more turns.
I think the way he's looking at it is it is all in now on this lane, because mid lane is one for him, third lane is lost for him. He has to win this lane or he will lose, because by next turn, Ash from Pallet Town will be taking that third tower with this Thunderhide back, plus another one coming.
Essentially, Slacks is in a 2-turn clock, and the silver lining for him is that Disciple of Nevermore has not died, so everything will still be buffed. And right now, the 23 damage to the tower look pretty sexy. Jamui finally has his active available, and now, whoa!
Interesting. Okay. Placing
That's
that,
so weird.
Well, because he can't damage anything in the first lane because they're still invulnerable, right?
Right, but you can play it in this lane and then get to use it right now.
Right.
He's playing it in the first lane because he feels that it's going to be useful later. So he's sacrificing the use of his Steam Cannon this turn for guaranteeing using it in the first lane the next turn before anything happens. And also hoping that he will get initiative. But Ash from Pallet Town, understanding that initiative is really important.
Yes.
And actually keeping it there. Not spending any spells. He doesn't need to. He knows that with 40 health in the tower and at least 40 damage in the next turn, if Slacks doesn't win this round, then the game is over.
Slacks is in some trouble. He does have some spells, but we'll see if anything comes of it. Chen will be placed somewhere for our challenger.
Yep.
And Slacks has no hero.
black spells for Slacks in that first lane. And with the initiative, potentially one of these two blue heroes could die straight away from a pickoff or from a coup de grace. So Slacks essentially has one shot.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Oh, and also with the Holy Persuasion.
Yeah, Holy Persuasion will take over any creepy places.
Or still that Disciple of Nevermore.
That is true. Could be a double-edged sword, but in this case, I think you'll probably go for it.
Pickoff going for that Crystal Maiden, getting rid of that. Now,
I mean, he has another nuke. I mean,
he does have another nuke.
This negative armor is really hurting Slacks right now.
That is pretty painful, and now he has to decide, do I want to use the Steam Cannon, which I don't really think is going to be super helpful. Thunder Ghost Wrath, again, will not kill anything that is right here on the lane. Better late than never can put a creep to block something in this lane and maybe delay that loss, but he needs
unfortunately, Horn of the Alpha is off cooldown, as it was last turn actually.
Right.
So that lane is just dead. There's nothing he can do. Does have Blink Dagger on Sorlakan though, so could try something. We'll see. Yeah, I'd be very surprised. It looks like he's going to put the fur lines. All right, we're going to see a new item. I don't think we've seen this one. Wingfall Hammer.
Wingfall Hammer. Oops, that's not what I wanted to click.
There you go.
Gives you +4 attack and an active that you can use every turn, giving equipped hero and the ally neighbors +X regeneration this round, where X is half its attack. Now, what's regeneration? Regeneration is essentially kind of negative combat damage. It applies during combat at the same time that you do damage. So if you're taking 5 damage and you have 2 regeneration, you're taking 3 damage on combat. However, this does not work with spells, so a spell doing 4 damage to you will not be prevented by regeneration. Also, if your regeneration makes it so that you're regenerating more than combat damage, you will heal at the end of combat.
Right, and I think that's one thing that was really confusing to me early on because I didn't understand the combat phase is when that applies. So, like, let's say you have a duel. It's not necessarily damage from a spell, it's damage from a hero. That still will go through regeneration completely.
Correct.
So, regen only applies after the combat phase.
Yes.
So in that case, after the combat phase, it's essentially having extra HP.
And I'm going to be a little bit pedantic here. It's not after the combat phase. It's at the same time that combat damage happens. So if you're taking lethal damage but you're regenerating, you will survive. And if you are full health and you're taking damage and you regenerate, you will apply both things at the same time. So there's no like overhealing at the beginning. So both things happen exactly simultaneously. So yeah, I was actually thinking a little bit more about, I think Holy Persuasion would actually be a really terrible play for our challenger, Ash from Pallet Town here, because that would enable Thunder Ghost Wrath to be pretty powerful. But now that Frostbite is being used, there's less damage put into the tower. And yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like, before that, he was taking enough lethal damage into the tower to like not even need to get to that final stage. Now that the mana was spent, now it might be a little bit more tempting to use that to seal that, because then we will go again through lethal damage. Of course, knowing that the steam cannon is there, you have to be careful, because steam cannon killing that creature will again put the things back to even.
Right. And Slacks is preventing a lot of damage right now. Another battlefield control being placed on PA. And there we go. Ash has taken over the Disciple.
Yeah.
And Slacks does not have enough mana to use Thunder God's Wrath anymore after using battlefield control.
No, but I mean, he can use Strafing Run, which is pretty good here.
Pretty good.
Because Strafing Run does nothing, but that piercing damage is now 3 damage to every one of his opponents. And with that, plus the Steam Cannon, he can actually clear a lot of damage from this lane.
Yes.
Still, he has to survive that third lane, and that's going to be pretty damn hard. But, you know, at least he is surviving here.
It's all about survival. So yeah, the static field coming from Zeus, anytime you play a blue spell, will do 1 piercing damage to all enemy neighbors. In this case, killing off the Disciple of Nevermore. Question is, I mean, does he even need to do this? He's surviving technically this
Well,
round,
if
and
he manages to survive that next lane, for him to be able to clear as many heroes as possible from this lane is going to be absolutely necessary. See? Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, no.
He could have killed somebody off first before doing that with the Steam Cannon.
Yep. The problem that happened there was the Strafing Run killed the Disciple of Nevermore. And when it killed the Disciple of Nevermore, then the minus armor was lost.
Right.
And then the static field only did 1 damage instead of 3.
So Slacks used the Steam Cannon on Rix in the 3rd lane. I think he's hoping for some amazing placement with this Blink Dagger.
He has to, right? And I think the first thing you do here is you play that Heartstopper Aura.
Okay.
Okay, that's good too.
That is definitely good. But he still needs Sword Lacan to be placed. This is RNG right here.
Yeah.
This is a prayer from Slacks.
Well,
Praying to the
it's a
gods
calculated risk. He has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. 3 of them are
actually... Oh, no!
Oh, no.
The worst position possible.
That's not what he wanted right there. Yeah, literally the least amount of impact in the game as possible. However, he still has the Oglodi Bandal.
Yes, that is true.
So he can still prevent some amount of damage. And the fact that he's there means that the Thunderhide pack that Ash has in his hand, or the Horn of the Alpha, is going to be blocking something. So there's still 1 more shot for Slacks.
Yes. Of course, the Thunderhide Alpha does siege damage, so a little bit will go through, but if nothing else is done, then...
Oh, here comes...
That's right, another Thunderhide Alpha.
It was the Horn of the Alpha first, and then the Thunderhide from his hand. That's going to be 51 damage, and Slacks laughing, considering his victory, trying to decide what do I do.
Oh, there it is.
Heartstopper Aura.
That's the dream right there.
Yes. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be doing much. Ash from Pallet Town has defeated the first of the Elite Four. We'll see if he will have more time to play someone else later. But for now, I think...
Can we keep track of record? I really want to know what Slacks' record is right now.
He's, I think, 1-5 now.
I think so, too. He swears he won a 2nd game yesterday.
I don't recall.
I have no memory of this
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't recall as well, as they're congratulating each other. Congratulations to our brand new player, champion, if you will, Ash from Pallet Town.
I think it merits an interview.
Yes, by all means.
Yeah, come here. He understands cameras. He like walks below the camera.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's a natural.
Hey, how's it going?
Very well, yourself?
Very good. So, Ash from Pallet Town. Of course, he's our friend Conrad. He's been in the beta for a while, and yeah, he knows what he's doing. He played against Slacks a million times. So, are you having fun?
I'm having great fun. It was really nice. Oh, sorry about that. It was really nice to get to try out Artifact and kind of see all the people that are playing it. Some really tough games here.
Yeah. So, which of the decks do you like the most out of these ones?
I really like aggro personally. I think it's one of the more fun, more unique ones. I didn't get to play it unfortunately, but I saw Slacks play it, and apparently that's not the way you're supposed to. So.
That goes without saying. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah. So, we've seen a lot of cards here. Is there any card that like you have a lot of fun with?
I mean, nothing's like Time of Triumph. I think, when you really buff up all your heroes, all your units, and I think it's like one of those really fun cards to use.
Yeah, so I think you're now almost a champion. You're a challenger that defeated the champions. So that almost makes you a champion. There's a lot of people here that are waiting to play the game for the first time. And there's a lot to take in, right? It's a complex game. It's a deep game. It's a really engaging, fun game. What is your piece of advice as a person that has defeated Slacks for people that are new to the game? And like, what is the one thing that you would tell them, like, this is what you should do or this is what you shouldn't do?
I think the most important thing is be careful with your priority. I think you know, making sure that you're going into your next round with your turn of going first, being able to kind of set your moves way beforehand is really key. Without that, you know, they end up getting Coup de Grace or Thundercloud's Wrath, and suddenly all your cards are dead. Now you can't play anything.
Okay, so now a different one. What kind of advice do you have for Slacks so that he stops losing?
I mean, is there any advice that will actually help him? No, I think Slacks played the aggro deck really well. He really surprised me in the middle lane, and I thought that was actually really nice. That was a good move. I got really surprised. So,
oh yeah.
I was like, uh-oh. I got a little bit worried, but you know, I kept my cool, just figure out what to do, and then go from there.
We were talking about how that's probably Slacks' best. Like, you've played him a bunch of times, as have I. Have you ever seen him make a move that good before?
That's actually one of the best moves I've ever seen him do.
So anyways, thank you very much, Conrad. Hope to see you around later as well. And yeah, all of you that are playing there, we're going to have some more fun. We have a next challenger ready.
Excellent.
So it was good to see you. Have a good one, and yeah.
Congratulations, Ash.
Congratulations, Ash. For sure. And that's going to be that for Ash from Palitown. And now we have a new challenger whose name is... We're finding it out. Can't hear you. Justin from San Francisco.
SFO, and nice.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing one of our champions. I think Fosh looks like she's ready.
Right.